I'm going to miss her. Yeah, what I just wanted to do really was just sort of bring the year to a close, these Sangha nights. So we've been meeting together this year on Sangha nights. And actually, Masiri was going to lead the evening, but she's not been well. She is feeling much better now, but still recovering. So yeah, I said that I'd lead it, and yeah, it was lovely actually. We've got a Sangha night little group, the team of us that have this WhatsApp thread, and I did a bit of a call out. I said, "Oh, is anyone up for helping me on Sangha night for the closing evening?" And Claire said, "Yep, me. I'll help in any way." So yeah, so I'm just going to hand over to Claire. So Claire, in a way, well, I know that last week some of you were here for Shanti Garba's book launch of The Burning House, and he sort of communicated about a particular image last week. And I know that Claire was really sort of struck by that. So I just wanted her really to explain and just sort of share with you why she was so struck by that image. And that does sort of bring together the lights that we have here this evening as well, especially this one, I think. So yeah, I'll hand over to you, Claire. Yeah.
Do you unmute that? I don't have to do anything. Okay, sorry. New to this, hi. Yeah, it was a lovely evening last week, and Shanti Garba was talking about, how we can respond to, the challenge of climate change, and in trying to inspire people to sort of approach it positively and hopefully, he used the symbolism of Indra's net. And Indra's net was something that I first heard about earlier this year with Sophie. We were studying in our Mitra group, and we were looking at interconnectedness, and we were introduced to Indra's net, and it was just such a beautiful and powerful image that really resonated with me. So when Kusaladevi put in the chat, can anyone think of something simple and beautiful to do on the last night? I thought, we could do Indra's net. We could talk a little bit more about Indra's net, and then Kusaladevi thought, we'll get lots of twinkly lights. And big thank you to Jerry, who really wanted to be here tonight but couldn't. She's not 100%, but she's supplied quite a few of the twinkly lights. And hopefully that will just help inspire everyone and put everyone in the mood. So what I want to do first is just give you a description of Indra's net. And when I was looking for different ones, I was spoilt for choice, but I thought I'd use the one that I was first introduced to this image with. So if I just invite you just to shut your eyes for a few minutes. And when I describe the net, hopefully this will bring a really nice vision into your heads. Far away in the heavenly abode of the great god Indra, there is a wonderful net which has been hung by some cunning artificer in such a manner that it stretches out indefinitely in all directions. In accordance with the extravagant tastes of deities, the artificer has hung a single glittering jewel at each eye of the net. And since the net is infinite in dimension, the jewels are infinite in number. There hang the jewels, glittering like stars of the first magnitude, a wonderful sight to behold. If we now arbitrarily select one of these jewels for inspection and look closely at it, we will discover that in its polished surface there are reflected all the other jewels in the net, infinite in number. Not only that, but each of the jewels reflected in this one jewel is also reflecting all the other jewels, so that there is an infinite reflecting process occurring. So hopefully that description has conjured up, as well as a big scream outside, just that beautiful image. And I was at the dinner table on Sunday, and we started talking about train stations because my son's going to London on Sunday, and it reminded me about the first time I went into St Pancras station after they'd done the renovation, and I don't know if anyone's been in the dark, and you look up and it is just this glittering ceiling and it just really made me think of that ceiling, Indra's net and that ceiling. It's just so beautiful and stunning. So Indra's dual net, or the dual net of Indra, is a much loved metaphor of Mahayana Buddhism, and it illustrates the interpenetration, intercausality and interbeing of all things, and that connectedness that we all share. And Indra was the early leader of the Hindu pantheon of gods, and he lived on Mount Meru and was charged with the protection and guidance of mankind. When I was looking into this, I came across a very different and another very evocative way of visualizing Indra's net, and it was one that was described by a patriarch, Faizang, and he's said to have illustrated Indra's net by placing 8 mirrors around a statue of the Buddha. So he placed 4 mirrors around the side and 1 above and 1 below. Do you know that's 6 mirrors? They called it 8. That surrounded the Buddha by these mirrors. And then he placed a candle to illuminate the Buddha. And that meant the mirrors reflected the Buddha and each other's reflections, again, in that endless series, just showing that sort of beautiful, sort of endless connection. So Indra's net is very much related to interbeing. And it's very basically, interbeing refers to a teaching that all of existence is a vast nexus of causes and conditions, constantly changing, in which everything is interconnected to everything else. And I came across another really, really effective simile that was described by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's called Clouds in Each Paper. If you are a poet, you will see clearly that there is a cloud floating in this sheet of paper. Without a cloud, there will be no rain. Without rain, the trees cannot grow, and without trees, we cannot make paper. The cloud is essential for the paper to exist. If the cloud is not here, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. So we can say that the cloud and the paper inter are. Again, we are all connected. We all resonate and reflect and affect each other. And what this is talking about is that the moral of Indra's net is that the compassionate and the constructive interventions a person makes or does can produce a ripple effect of beneficial action, and that will reverberate throughout the universe or until it plays out. Equally, if we damage one strand of the web, then we're damaging all the others. We're setting out a cascade of destruction. And when Shanti was talking to us last week, it was very much, we can feel powerless about the change that we can achieve. And I've been talking about this at work today, and sometimes you can feel quite hopeless in the face of some of the difficult challenges we face. But if we think about Indra's net, we can think as a jewel in that net, by any positive action we can take, however small it might seem to us, it can have just this amazing effect. And it's resonated throughout this amazing net that surrounds the whole universe. So it's just a very empowering image. I was going to say more, but I'm going to stop because we're going to run out of time. But I think it's a really beautiful image, and I hope that all of our twinkling lights that are surrounding us today just help everybody visualize that.
Lovely. Thank you, Claire. Really lovely. Yeah, so I don't know about any of you, but what comes to mind for me as well with Indra's net is that we as a Sangha are also sort of connected in this way, and we reflect one another, with our, whether our actions are skillful or unskillful, they can be reflected in each other. So those sort of intentions that we have doing that metta bhavana together this evening, but also the action that we take individually affects one another in the Sangha as well. So I thought it would be a lovely way to end the year to just rejoice in the merits of each other in the Sangha. So we'll have about half an hour, which will be just an open session for rejoicing in merits. Anyone in the shrine room, if you want to rejoice in anyone's merits, we'll hand these nifty new little microphones around, and you're welcome to do that. But also on Zoom, if you'd like to just spontaneously rejoice in your friends, it's fine if you haven't got anything planned, but it's just a really beautiful way of sort of appreciating one another and each other's qualities. So if you haven't heard of or done rejoicing in merits before, you'll get a sense of it as we sort of go along. But yeah, really, it's about how we, those sort of jewels that are in the net. It's about how we actually appreciate those jewels. What is it that we see about those particular jewels? So yeah, with our friends in the Sangha, what qualities of theirs do we appreciate and value? What positive qualities do we see in them that have grown through their practice, or that just sort of shine through them? So I thought I'd kick us off by just rejoicing in the whole. Okay, so we're going to end with the Threefold Puja. So it's a simple, beautiful puja, just 3 verses, if I can find it. Is there anyone either here or online who would be happy to start the Sabbe Sata mantra right at the end of the puja? I don't know if anyone online is. If you had your hand up, I couldn't see you then, so put your hand up again now. It's fine if, oh yeah, Vanessa?
We'll both do it.
Oh, such a make it, yeah, lovely, yeah, perfect, thank you. Great, so we'll just do that right at the end. So for those of you that don't know, Sabbe Sata Sukhi Hontu is a mantra. In a way, it's just wishing all beings wellness, happiness, sort of. Yeah, I think of it as a beautiful mantra. I was thinking in terms of this sort of Indra's net in a way, and the Sangha being a focus of metta that can then spread out to all beings, those jewels of us that kind of each of us can kind of go out into the world with our jewels and reflect towards other beings. So yeah, I think that would be a beautiful mantra to kind of take out with us this evening as well, back into the world. Yeah. So we'll do the Threefold Puja in call and response, and we'll finish with that mantra. And yeah, anyone who's in the shrine room, you're very welcome to come and make offerings. And at home, you might want to make offerings to your shrine during that mantra as well. And then we'll just sort of, at the end, we'll just let that mantra die out and we'll sit. And then, depending what time it is, we can just have a bit of time to sort of say goodbye to one another at the end. Yeah. So just getting comfortable for the puja. So you can really just take all of those rejoicings, the beauty of that sort of appreciation and gratitude, and recognizing all of those qualities. Really just taking that to the Buddha, to the 3 jewels in gratitude. The Threefold Puja. Opening reverence. We reverence the Buddha, the perfectly enlightened one. the shower of the way. We reverence the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, which leads from darkness to light. We reverence the Sangha, the fellowship of the Buddha's disciples, that inspires and guides. Reverence to the three jewels. We reverence the Buddha and aspire to follow him. The Buddha was born as we are born. What the Buddha overcame, we too can overcome. What the Buddha attained, we too can attain. We reverence the Dharma and aspire to follow it with body, speech and mind until the end. The truth in all its aspects, the path in all its stages. We aspire to study, practice, realize. We reverence the Sangha and aspire to follow it. The fellowship of those who tread the way. As one by one, we make our own commitment. An ever widening circle. The Sangha grows. We'll chant the Refuges and Precepts in call and response. Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa Buddhang saranang gacchami Dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami Ditiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami Ditiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami Ditiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami Tatyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Panatipata Veramani Sekapadang Samadhyami. Adinadana Veramani Sekapadang Samadhyami. Kamesu Mechachara Veramani Sekapadang Samadhyami. Musavada Veramani Sekapadang Samadhyami. Suramarya Maja Kamadatana Veramani Sekapadang Samadhyami. Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind. Offerings to the Buddha. Reverencing the Buddha. We offer flowers. Flowers that today are fresh and sweetly blooming. Flowers that tomorrow are faded and fallen. Our bodies too, like flowers, will pass away. Reverencing the Buddha. We offer candles. To him who is the light. We offer light. From his greater lamp. A lesser lamp we light within us. The lamp of Bodhi. Shining within our hearts. Reverencing the Buddha. We offer incense. Incense whose fragrance pervades the air. the fragrance of the perfect life, sweeter than incense, spreads in all directions, throughout the world.
Sabe sata suki hontu. 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 Sabe sata suki hontu.
Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe sata suki hontu. Sabe hantu sabe sata suki hantu sabe sata suki hantu. So thank you all and go well over the next 2 weeks. We look forward to seeing you in the new year. Yeah, thank you.